I'm Dr. Ashraf Habzadeh, and I'm here at the Digital Health and Fitness Live Studio by United Healthcare, and I've got a pretty famous guest with me, ePatient Dave, who is renowned for his patient advocacy. Welcome.
Welcome.
Wonderful to have you here.
Yes.
Tell me, what is an ePatient?
Well, so this is a movement that started in the 1990s. The E stands for empowered, engaged, equipped, enabled. It's a patient who plays an active role in their health and their care, because the two are not the same thing, in partnership with their clinical experts, otherwise known as their doctors.
Day to day, what kind of things do you do that makes you the ePatient? When you say active role, what does that look like on the ground?
So empowerment in general is not limited to healthcare. It's a fundamental thing. I said in the session I was in on sleep scores earlier today, I said, I'm a former hippie. You know, we learned back in the 60s that like empowerment is you never say, well, there's nothing I can do, because that's disempowered. Right? And in the context of sleep, you might think, I don't get enough sleep, but there's nothing I can do. Right? So the fundamental thing is to realize you can make choices and then you can take actions. And in the context of CES, that's all about data. So, I mean, in any health decision, I decide first, am I on board with what my doctor's telling me? And if I'm not, we talk about it, because we have that kind of relationship.
How much further do patients have to go to become empowered?
Oh, it happens in an instant. You just decide, this is what's important to me, and I'm going to choose what I want to do about it. You know, there are no guarantees. I mean, being empowered doesn't mean you can jump off a building and fly, right? But it does mean you get to make the choices about what's important to you.
So when we think about healthcare, we have patients, we have healthcare systems, we have providers. How do you make providers change their behavior? Because is that a resistance point sometimes? Is there a bit of a power struggle?
Well, first of all, just to touch up the language, I don't make anybody do anything, right? I may encourage things, but then again, see, what you just did was superbly flip the question, because the usual doctor question, you're an MD, right?
That's right,
The
yes.
usual doctor question is, how do you make the patient do something?
Right.
Well,
right.
That's where we get into issues of compliance. If the patient is not complying with my brilliant wisdom, right? But it's like anything else, you have something shoved down your throat, you're less likely to want it. When my doctor and I agree on a care plan because it's something important to me, right, then I'm more likely to go along. And similarly, what I do, I know physicians have extraordinary training. They don't get to have that license if they haven't gotten that training and passed a lot of tests that I never saw. So I speak in terms of shining a light on what's newly possible, because patients can have access to information, and then it's up to them whether to change or not.
So you're one of the leading figures in terms of patient empowerment, patient advocacy. What would be your kind of single take home to many of the patients or consumers listening to this interview?
Well, all the power on whether you do or don't do what the doctor recommends is in your hands, right? And my matching request to the physicians, which is actually the title of my TED Talk and the title of my book, which I co-authored with my doctor, by the way, is let patients help. And to the patients, it's come on, step up and do part of the work.
Thank you so much, ePatient Dave. That was wonderful.
My pleasure.
I'm Dr. Ashraf Habzadeh from the Digital Health and Fitness Live Studio by United Healthcare. Thank you very much.